That was the weird thing, was like when all that happened, like I remember people asking me to be on their team. That's the only time I've ever asked to be on the team, because I knew what the fuck to do.
I still remember some people would go.
Are you playing as Link? What the hell?
Yeah, Link's in
I was
this
playing
game.
as Link in a previous stage.
But-
Anyway, we finished up that last gallery, and that boss that gave me a little bit of shit. So we're on to Gallery 7, Realism.
What was I
Yeah,
gonna
by the way,
say?
I'm the one playing this game.
What was I gonna say?
I've been quiet because I've just been listening to your expositor.
Some people would actually. So like,
Mysterious
we played
Flying Gentleman Act 2 by Dark Lord Kleiner.
So yeah, we'd all come up with our own usernames to use when we played our Kahoot games. Some people have come up with some inappropriate stuff. Our teacher would notice them immediately because I do remember somebody.
The first thing that
yeah,
happens, I get hit with Castlevania Knockback.
and he immediately.
My
removed
name would
that
probably
one.
be Shoot Me.
I just went with like anime stuff that people wouldn't recognize.
I would probably go with Shoot Me now.
I think the time I won, I went with an Ace Attorney character.
Oh no. Either that, or I'd be like, Master Chief, 420, blaze it, get wrecked, scrub.
No,
Really?
Hashtag teabag. Yeah, I'd be like a
Essay,
really
old
cringy.
chap, how's the weather? That's
But
not
if
a
I'm
posh
honest,
accent.
there's kind of a reason I don't really like
Like,
to.
say, what's the weather like?
There's kind of a reason I don't like to think about my senior year too much.
I think this is the only,
I
like,
wasn't there, so your senior year
Lakitu
must have
stage
sucked.
in this
You
game.
missed me.
There's
No, it
Lakitus
didn't
in other
suck,
stages,
like-
but...
Like, I thought my junior year was pretty
Ouch.
bad. Even though you weren't there, my senior year was actually a lot better.
Why did that coin transform into a rupee when I broke the bubble?
But like, I just don't like looking bad at it, knowing that some things aren't here now.
Dude, do you remember when Levi left?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill this mysterious flying gentleman Act 2 if it's the last thing I do.
It's like, it's one of those things where I kind of wish I would have said something, but I didn't. But
Dude,
There's
I was
nothing
just
you can
like,
do about
bye,
it now.
have fun in California. I honestly thought he was gonna come back. He was just like, I'll be back in 6 months. Freaking
because like
disappeared off the face of the freaking
I mean,
earth.
there was someone I thought I would be able to say. I thought I would be able to say something, but it turns out I missed my chance. So
Dude, sometimes you just gotta shoot your shot. Not gonna lie.
yeah, I guess I'm never seeing them again.
Salute the sun.
I don't want to be creepy and find like their face and go up to their Facebook page or something, but those stories are.
Okay, if you went to high school with them, right, and
Yeah.
you guys were like friends or whatever, I don't think that's creepy, especially if you're just like, hey, it's me from high school.
But it's been so long, and they're
Hasn't
kind of
been
like,
that- Dude,
they're
it's
kinda
only
like-
been a couple years.
yeah, but they're kind of like
They're
me.
not
with-
50.
They're kind of like me with Facebook, as in they don't use it a whole lot.
Dude, I don't even have a Facebook.
Mine's deactivated.
Like-
I don't know why
But
I haven't full out
the
deleted
thing
it.
is, at the same time, I do want to get in touch with everybody that let me write them into those stories that I did in high school, so they'll be
There's
able to
one
read
person
them.
that I would have to say I don't care. It's a
But
certain person that you
I
know.
think I have an idea who you're talking about, and I actually tried looking him up, but I couldn't find him.
I don't think he has a Facebook.
Yeah.
Dude, he freaking he disappeared midway through our junior year anyway.
Or maybe we weren't thinking about the same person, but I think I know who you're talking about now.
He got distant during our senior or our junior year, I should say. Heck, he got distant during the sophomore year when that other kid
This is the guy with the rock power in the stories, right?
maybe. I don't
What
remember.
kind of stories did you write? I never thought about that,
Fantasy.
but then when you say rock power...
He had a magic ability that he could mass produce rocks and throw them or something.
that was it?
My
It's
power was that I had a sword and I could kill people with the sword.
So basically I'm
Mine was-
playing as you right now.
Yeah, basically.
Mine was cats. I could create cats and cat-themed weapons and tools. Like, I just.
Oh,
made it
you're gonna
more
love
OP
the
as I
Moon
went
Lord
on.
sword.
So
'Cause
yeah,
the Meow Mirror is hilarious.
So yeah. So it was a fantasy series where we went on different adventures, and
People
you
die
know,
sometimes.
and I had this you know, and I had them all connect, but like the first several stories had more to do with the fictional characters and their complicated lives, but when I got to the last three, I made it have more to do with me.
It was kind of weird because like I went like typical RPG route and then it went off the walls. I was just like, oh man, this is gonna be a typical RPG. Heck yeah! And then it's just like anything except for that.
No, I want to fire up Google Docs so we could actually write like something legitimate instead of just screwing around and making it a meme. Like, I've been wanting to do that for a while now, like actually organize a proper story that we all wrote on Google Docs. But,
I mean, I'm trying to do a proper story myself, but there is continuity related to the stuff I did in high school.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real honest. I would have to write a different story because when I write stories, could be connected, but it'd have to be separate. Because like,
I say, yo, fellow, back again.
Huh?
There was a text box, so I read it.
Yeah, so
Why
Warrior
so
actually did co-write a couple of the stories with me. Like, I would give him the notebook to edit, and he'd actually add some dialogue to it. And for the first one, he actually wrote his own story on a piece of paper, and then I wrote that story in.
Yeah.
I think the problem with my writing is that it's too heavily reliant on dialogue.
But then, as I got further, I started writing more of the stories myself and just had him edit. Then, when I got to the 5th and 6th one, I couldn't really rely on him to edit because
I wasn't there.
Because he wasn't there, so I just did it myself.
And the thing is, you would like send them to me and be like, "Hey, I made this," and I'd be like on Google, and I'd be like, "Okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read this entire thing."
I didn't type them up until after I graduated. Like,
well, no, didn't you send
I cannot get in that
Doc?
duck space before the bullet bill
my
comes.
graduation week, that's when here's the thing, I gave the stories to somebody so he could type them up, but he never actually did it. He got a bit of the first one done, but he got too lazy to do it.
By the way, that guy,
I got him back.
That kind of irks me because like he was just like, "Oh no, writing."
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later,
I wish you didn't mention that when I was playing this game, because I just remembered I was supposed to do a death montage for Desmo when he played this game. That never got done.
Oof. So, graduation week, he finally gives those stories back to me. And the first thing I do when I get home is my fingers just start typing away, typing up the first story. So, in like a few days, I got the first
you sent me a Google like Docs of one of the later stories that you
did. This was 2017, and I only sent out the first 4 stories that year.
Alright, fair enough.
Then it was the next
Stop
year where I actually got around to
Wackatoo!
typing the 5th and 6th one and sent them
So
to
it might have
you.
been the 5th and 6th one that I
It's the 5th and 6th one you haven't read, but I've made some changes to the 1st through 4th. And like the fictional characters didn't get last names when I first created them, but I changed that for the updated versions. And some of them have more dialogue.
To be honest, like when you gave me those, I sat down and I was just like, I'm gonna read this entire thing. And then it would be like, oh, by the way, your aunt died, and you're gonna have to go deal with that. I'm just like, and then it'd be like, oh, by the way, this thing is happening. Oh, by the way, you have a job now. Oh, by the way, like, life is moving on. And I'm just like, wait, for me.
Yeah, I hope you'll be able to read the 5th and 6th story one of these days.
Well, yeah, because the freaking, yeah.
And like
Are you kidding me,
and the
game?
5th one's
Fine, I'll
actually,
stop playing
I've
his
told you this
link.
before, but the 5th one's the last one that you're in.
Oh yeah, because I die. Yeah, you told me about. Didn't I die clutching a grenade and telling somebody that I'd seen?
No.
Damn it.
I still remember when I was writing the 6th one, you joked about me writing a scene where you just showed up for a second, got hit by a bus, and died.
Oh yeah. I was like, hey guys, what's up?
By the way, I did not hesitate to kill any of my friends in these stories.
Yeah, it was great.
Because, like, they were partially based off of Peanut Butter Gamer's Minecraft Hardcore series. So,
Of all things.
I had people die, but, like, I made sure death wouldn't be permanent, because it would be too cruel to just kill my friends in the story and just have that be it.
I hate green. You survived.
So yeah, made sure death wasn't permanent, and by the time I got to the 6th one, I made sure everybody that let me write them into the series died at least once. Although I do feel kind of bad that some of them never got to make it to the end.
Which one are you talking about specifically?
I mean, most of them never made it to the end.
Oh, straight up? Wow.
Because, like, heck, there were some where I didn't even make it to the end.
Dude, I remember in the first story you died, like, 3 or 4 chapters from the end, and then, like, the second story you just died at the beginning.
No, the second story I died near the end.
It's funny how you guys are talking about this on a level I keep dying on.
I don't remember dying at the beginning of any of them.
You died at the beginning of, or like, near the beginning. Not directly at the beginning. Oh, I was gonna say something, but it would be spoilers for Endgame, and I'm not.
Starlight City by Solitaire.
Huh?
And Bowser is just sitting there.
I was gonna say, like, oh, well, this, Endgame, haha, and I was just like, oh wait, nobody else has seen that.
Well, I have no intention on seeing Endgame, so you can spoil it however much you want if I'm the only one here.
We're streaming, and the internet is a vengeful place.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be a good idea. Not that
Fair
people
point.
would notice the stream, but we should definitely consider the possibility that game might suddenly get popular one day.
Yeah, but
or maybe there's some weird
time
YouTube
that
glitch, and in actuality I've accumulated 10,000 subscribers in the past month, and I haven't seen them.
By the time that happens, they're gonna be looking at Endgame and being like, "Oh man, you remember when movies were like 2D and not in the 5th dimension?" And everybody's gonna be like, "Ha, freaking."
So yeah.
What's this guy doing playing this 2D Mario game? Everyone knows that 3D is the only game that matters now.
Yeah. So there were only a few of those stories that I actually made it to the end on, and one of them I made sure I made it to the end along with another guy because we had a habit of being the last two on our team whenever we played dodgeball.
Dude, okay, no, because you can say that, but I had a reputation for being the last one alive in dodgeball.
Well, I never had you in a PE class, and to be fair, you did make it to the end of most of them, so.
No, dude, okay, so I remember one time, like, I was literally the last person, and we had, like, 5 minutes, and it was just, like, I don't know, Gameactive, if you ever make this into a video, I want you to put a splash cut of, Halo Reach, and the objective, it's, Mission Lone Wolf, and it's just objective survive. That's basically what I just saw was objective
if you have that
survive.
image, please send it to me, because I don't know how well Google will find it.
It'd probably just be like Halo Reach objective survive. It's
not fair! Why does Ludwig get his own castle when I don't even have one? And why is my painting all the way in the back? It should be front and center, and with proper lighting! That's my terrible attempt at a Bowser
Halo
voice.
Reach, oh, it's an objective survive.
Fleet Falls by Blitzen.
So when I finished the 6th story in high school, like, these stories, I had my English teacher read all of them, but when I finished the 6th one, he actually, for some reason, thought I was going to do a 7th one, even though I said, in the author's notes at the end, that this was going to be the last. And so, like, when I asked him about his progress on the 6th one, he says something about there being a 7th one. I'm just like, no, there's not going to be a 7th one. I'm going to do something entirely new next.
There you go, game. Take that.
I spent a good while thinking of characters, but it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do with them. And then my idea was to do what I did in high school, but make it a bit edgier. So, death is permanent, but all my characters are fictional this time around.
Hey,
instead of Sonic, we got Shadow, and he has a gun.
And since I want this to be like a fresh take or something new, I decided to write from the perspective of a female character this time.
Oh no. I could imagine how awkward that is for you.
I honestly
like, oh my god, Josh is so hot.
Back to the Valley Girl!
I mean, like, I don't even spend that much time thinking about how the protagonist is a girl. Like, I just write.
Honestly, I feel like that's the attitude that should be taken, where it doesn't really matter.
I would say if I was a girl, but I've noticed a big difference between me and her. She seems to be a bit more talkative and confident than I am.
It's kind of, well, I imagine it'd be kind of weird for you. You didn't give her a love interest, I guess, then. Like at all. Although you never really gave characters love interests, to be fair.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that with like real people.
I mean,
technically,
then again, we were bros, and if you ever did that,
technically, with the fictional characters, there were some love interests. Remember?
I mean, yeah, that was true. There was,
and I actually led to a new one at the end of the 6th one.
Oh.
But yeah, I am planning on there being a love interest for the main character at some point, but I'm not quite there yet.
I mean, yeah, no, I just imagined, like, you being socially awkward to you, how hard it would be for you to write love scenes, especially for someone that's...
Hey, I play dating sims. I know what I'm doing.
Those don't count because they're both...
Yeah, I wouldn't even dare touch that.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't, because the pages probably stick together.
Oh! Good lord!
Yeah, I'll just go wherever my brain, I'll just go with whatever my brain thinks of. I'll try not to do anything like.
I mean, I'm surprised
I'm
you're
gonna
able to
switch to a character that isn't female.
Yeah. Because like,
I feel disturbed now.
The way I see it, my main character, like, I'm pretty sure this is at least what I've decided is canon for now, unless I decide to change it for whatever reason. But she has not had a boyfriend, so it's likely she'll be awkward.
Castle Crushers by Kentona is our next stage. Can we talk about the game for a little bit? This conversation has gotten way out of hand.
Yeah. We were talking about writing, and now we're talking about... Well, I mean, it's still...
Oh, and then I get a vanilla Super Mario World style
make sure
castle.
to develop a relationship with the characters and come up with a lot more of the plot points.
Character... Okay, I'm gonna say it like this. Character development is, like, key. You know the... you know the X-Men comics?
I've heard of X-Men. I'm somewhat familiar with X-Men, but I don't know much about X-Men.
Well, you know that they're a comic book franchise.
Yeah.
Like, their whole shebang back in the day was just that they were really good at character development.
Yeah.
Gameactive died.
I've been dying pretty regularly in this gallery.
I've noticed.
Like, I died like 5 times on the Lakitu stage alone. And I thought I'd have 99 lives by the end of the game.
Like, the character development kind of saved X-Men, because originally there wasn't a whole lot of character development, and then, like, another writer got put on, and they had excellent character development, and it actually really saved them.
Yeah.
You want to know an example that's personal to me?
Huh.
Steven Universe didn't get good until we started knowing more about the characters.
I mean,
from what I know about that show, like, Rebecca Sugar wanted to end it a while back, but Cartoon Network wanted her to keep going, so she worried she was going to write the show into the ground.
That's not what I heard at all.
That's what
I heard is that the ending we got in Season 5 was the end of what they wanted.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you...
From what I understand, they had that plan from the start.
One of the endings that was supposed to be an ending to a franchise that spanned many years, which was Halo 3, was supposed to be the end of Master Chief. And then Halo 4 happened. Oh boy, fans did not react very well for that.
I said I was going to change to Princess. What?
Hey, Ace Attorney, the third Ace Attorney game was supposed to be the end of Phoenix Wright's story. And so, then Capcom surprised the creator of Ace Attorney by announcing they'd work on a 4th game. But the creator of the series, he considered Phoenix Wright's story to be over, so he decided to work on a new protagonist. But you know what Capcom said? That's cool and all, but you gotta put Phoenix Wright in. It was not received very well. The next game of the series makes Phoenix Wright the protagonist again, and it was received better, but nowadays, most people don't look at it so fondly from what At least it seems that way. And the series is a huge mess these days, so... Yay.
Halo 4, it was a good game, don't get me wrong, but fans were just like, they gave Master Chief a send-off. Like a really good send-off. And you're just shitting all over it. Because basically it was like, In the first Halo game, you wake up in a cryopod. In the third Halo game and the last Halo game, you go to sleep in a cryopod. And when in the first Halo game, I do believe, and I'm not 100% certain, but there was something about, you know, we needed the Master Chief, so we woke him up, right? And then in the third Halo game, and I know this for a fact, because, you know, I played Halo 1 like a billion years ago, but in Halo 3, I know this for a fact, Master Chief says to Cortana, wake me up when you need me. So it's kind of this, like, revolving story send-off thing. And then they were just like, nah, and they woke him up because they needed him.
God. Kind of reminds me, like,
on top of the stage.
Danganronpa V3, the third game in the series, kind of shits all over the entire, thing. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna say the ending here, just in case anybody comes across this stream and doesn't want to be spoiled for anything in Danganronpa.
Ooh, Danganronpa.
Like, they had
they
had a story which admittedly had a lot of issues, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. And while I didn't like the ending in the third part of the series, Danganronpa 3, which was an anime instead of a game,
no, yes.
I did like some things about it, but then they decided to make another game, and the ending to this game just kind of shits all over everything in the series. Like,
really?
It's real. It's why I don't really like the latest game's ending.
Ludwig is dead.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Halo 5 had a really bad story, so I feel you there.
Gusty indeed by
don't get me wrong.
Israel.
Danganronpa V3 actually had a really good story, in my opinion, for the most part. It's just that ending. I fucking hate it.
Well, the story in Halo 5 was just bad. All of it.
Yeah.
So,
From what I think I remember a complaint about it. Wasn't it like something like Sonic 06, where basically the entire story didn't even matter?
the entire story didn't even make sense. Like, okay, so...
Well, I'm talking specifically the ending, where it's all revealed that nothing really matters, even if it did make sense.
No, it matters. In fact, it leaves off on a cliffhanger, but the issue is that it just isn't good. So, let me explain a little bit.
Ooh. I have a hammer suit, a Tanuki suit, and a blue Yoshi. Nothing is gonna stop me now.
The commercials, I forgot the advertisements, the promotional material, that stuff for Halo 5 showed it showed Master Chief and a new character named Spartan Locke, who was then introduced in a spin-off TV show that came out before the game. Now, the issue is that it showed them as mortal enemies, and that it also showed that you'd be playing as Spartan Locke instead of the classic Master Chief, who had been the character for a really long time. So, everybody was just like, oh my god, like, Master Chief and Locke are gonna, like, be fighting
so
to
many
the
close
death.
calls.
Like, he's hunting him down like a Mandalorian bounty hunter, right? And then, that's not at all what happened in the story. Like, Master Chief and Spartan Locke his visor gets cracked and he basically bitch slaps Locke until he cries.
I knew karma would come to bite me in the ass.
No.
Ooh, rip game again.
With a Tanuki suit and a blue Yoshi. I was hoping I'd at least be able to hold on to that till the end of the stage.
But the thing is, you play most of the game as Spartan Locke, and then you play a little tiny bit at the end of the game, and a little tiny bit at the beginning of the game as Master Chief. And the story almost feels like it was 5 stories that a kindergartner was just like, everybody's story gets to be in the story, so everybody think up something cool. And so, like, they had, like, 5 stories that by themselves would be alright, but together made absolutely no freaking sense whatsoever. You know?
Yeah, I'm kind
I
of
can't
hoping,
turn those off.
like I kind of in the second part of the story I'm writing, I kind of went back to changing perspectives. I'm kind of hoping it makes sense and doesn't really feel out of
Changing
place.
perspectives can be good. Like, for example, Halo 2, switched between Master Chief and the Arbiter, and it did really skillfully. And then, in this one, it would suddenly yank you out of playing as the character that you thought you'd be playing as for the majority of the game, Master Chief, put you in a new character. You're just like, okay, I'm getting used to this new character. And then it would yank you out of that character's perspective and throw you into a new perspective.
So,
And
yeah,
all of this, while all of this was happening, you get cutscenes that explain parts of the story that you were not able to see. So, basically, the story would also jump around quite a bit.
yeah.
So,
All I can think of
That's
is
my
3D
problem I had
Sonic
with
as
the
you're describing
live-action
all of
Ace
this.
Attorney movie. It jumped around way too much.
It's pretty terrible. Not only that, but like, one of the series mainstays becomes evil, which is understandable until you realize that that series mainstay was supposed to die in the last game, and in fact was confirmed dead by the developers multiple times.
Oof.
So
I remember when
suddenly comes back and is evil in an uncharacteristically strange.
Oh shit! I just
It's almost like
unplugged my.
somebody wrote a fanfiction, to be honest. Like, if it was a fanfiction, I'd be like, yeah, it was alright, fanfiction, yes. It just was kind of crappy.
Yeah, like that reminds me. There was this one series that I was watching where one of the main characters just turns to the dark side. Like, it kind of felt like it was just done out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah.
I mean, like I get that it's like more surprising this way, but
It's
sometimes
supposed to be.
but sometimes it just doesn't. It just feels too out of character for them.
Dude, sometimes, like, the thing
And
is,
those
like,
things
that
that are
character
so
was dead,
obvious
and then
about
they
it,
were
you're not
back
surprised
alive,
at all.
And then they were evil all in the span of, like, 10 minutes.
God.
So, like, once you're processing, like, oh my god, they're alive, it's just like, yeah, but now they're evil. And now they're, like, kidnapping people and chaining them some freaking...
Yeah.
You know what I hate about that kind of trope? Is when the main character doesn't see a villain who's very obviously a villain. Like, they think they're on their side, and for some, because feigning innocence. Guardians of the Secret by Nine Hollows.
You know, one trope that I hate is when a male character unintentionally does something perverted and then a girl hates him. Because, like, the only reason I'm tired of this is because I've seen it a million times.
So...
I just kind of wish they'd stop writing those jokes in general.
I'm just gonna straight up say it because it's probably no longer a spoiler. Cortana becomes evil. Cortana was the AI assistant of Master Chief for well over 10 years, and was good at the end of Halo 3, and was good and sacrificed herself at the end of Halo 4. So, when she came back evil, I mean, yes, she did die of rampancy, which caused you to become insane, but she never showed any signs of, becoming mentally unstable. She was just unstable weak. You know, she started to forget things and stuff like that. And I mean, she did eventually lay down her life for you. So, not evil. I mean, if someone sacrifices their life to save yours, I would say that that person's not evil.
Isn't Cortana the name of the search bar in Windows 10?
Yes, in fact, the voice that you hear when you use the search bar or the search function and it does the voice thing, that's the voice actor for Cortana. They straight up know. In fact, you can ask the thing and be like, "Hey, Cortana, where's John 117?" And she's be like, "Probably saving the galaxy somewhere in
I
Halo."
know Halo is like their biggest Xbox game, but that just is so bizarre to me.
It was mostly a joke because they used the same voice actor to do the word processing as they did for Cortana, so they named it Cortana as a joke for people who would get the reference, right? And then it became so mainstream that it just kind of stuck. You know?
That's... Okay, well... I mean, I'm not on Windows 10. I don't have to worry about it yet.
Cortana's... Okay, I'm gonna tell you that, like this. Cortana's not a problem on Windows. She's a pain in the ass on Xbox if you have her turned on. Because the issue is, Cortana on Xbox isn't just like a search function. She listens for you to say, "Hey Cortana," and then she does whatever you say to do. It's almost like having an Alexa, except for you just say, "Hey Cortana," and then she does anything that's connected to your Xbox. She can start a game, she can start a movie, she can search things, she can pause
Okay, so
games,
basically what the
she
Xbox
can-
Connect could do.
Basically. Except for it's built into the Xbox One.
Well, the Xbox One has the Connect built in.
No, it does not.
Oh yeah, they did strip that out. After they realized that it wasn't going to sell regardless.
Doing that, I just decided not to get a Connect.
Because originally it was bundled with the console.
Yep, and I got mine from a freaking pawn shop, so they sold the Connect separately.
Like anyone would buy it.
Honestly, I just bought the
I need
Xbox,
to
but
switch back to Princess
thing is,
Peach. I can't
she's
play
a
platforming
ass
stages with Luigi
because,
anymore.
She also responds to "Hey Cortana" in other languages. So you could be saying something and be like, saying something, and then it'll just register it as you said, "Hey Cortana." Just kind of like how Google does that sometimes, like, "Hey Google." But sometimes you'll just be randomly talking, and Google's just like, "I'm listening." Just like, I didn't fucking ask for you. The issue with Cortana is that when she does that, she brings up like a
What the
thing that
hell?
covers
Why did I drop so
half
far?
your screen, and it has the words that you're saying that it's picking, it's picking them up, like it's trying
Oh, so it
to.
gets in the way.
So it gets in the way while you're playing a game, and you have to like manually exit it out. So it's kind of. I want you to imagine like you're just like in the middle of a firefight and you're shooting at somebody, and then suddenly Cortana pops up and just like, "Hey, what do you need?" And it's just like, off.
Need you to get out of my fucking face.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I'm not wrong, right? That's the
You are
problem you're complaining about, right?
Yep. I don't know how many times I've called Cortana the B word.
Does Cortana get mad at you?
No. If you start screaming curse words at her, she usually goes away, but it takes half a second, so. Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
that's
start
the thing that
screaming
they
curse
did.
words at this game sooner than later. I hate Vine platforming. I need to use the control pad. I don't want to use a stick. I want to use the D-pad. That's what I'm doing wrong.
So, yeah. If you start screaming curse words at her, she'll usually say sorry and then just go away. Or at least that's
So
what
they
she
know.
did. Huh?
They know how annoying it is, but they don't
Well, no,
bother
if you
fixing
tell her
it.
to like fuck off, she'll fuck off, basically. Yeah, I eventually turned Cortana off, and she no longer is annoying for me. Dude, the ultimate troll when someone like had Cortana was what you'd do is you'd be like, "Hey, turn the volume up on your TV," and then you'd be like, "Hey Cortana, play porn." Because then if you turned it up on your TV, Cortana would hear it through the TV, and it would go into your mic, and then she would hear it, and then she would pull it up on your Xbox, and then it would start playing with your TV sound up.
Oh god, no.
And the thing is, it takes a couple seconds to exit out of a Cortana thing, so...
You know, while we're on this subject, there was this guy that used to stay at my house, and he would try to get away with all kinds of shit. And he would do some pretty obscene things, like... I'm not gonna say what he did to my cat, but I will say what he did on my 3DS. Like,
Two boobies.
he would go to the internet browser and look up inappropriate images. Like, and this was like, I think this was back when I was in middle school.
Somebody else's DS, that's kind of weird.
And like, I remember, like, before I went to bed, he's on my 3DS looking at pictures of women peeing. And I'm just like, I don't even want to bother with this. I'm just gonna try to go to sleep. I wake up the next morning, open up my 3DS, and it's on a page full of pictures of men peeing.
Oh, God.
And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? And
What the fuck?
I still remember. I think during the same stay, like in the middle of the night, he was done with playing with my 3DS, so he put it on my bed. And this was back when Austin and I had a bunk bed.
Yep.
And he didn't say anything. He just puts it there, so I don't know it's there. So in the middle of the night, I roll over, the 3DS falls off and bonks him in the head.
Whoa.
And it's like, dude, you don't just
Never noticed
fucking
that
put it
before.
on my bed while I'm asleep. And sometime after he left,
Is that boss?
the 3DS had this.
No, it was just a random living statue. I
The
never
3DS
noticed
had an
that.
app where you could send messages and images to people. Been
Wasn't
removed
that
and replaced with a
the-
new one.
Picto
What was
chat.
that?
It was
It wasn't
Swap
Picto
Note.
Swap Note,
It was-
yeah.
It's been replaced with Swap Doodle, where you can't send pictures, but I was
Chemical
gonna send-
Romance by Master of
I was gonna send
Mayhem.
picture. I was gonna send something through SwapNote to somebody, and then it shows my images. But here's what catches my attention: my options of images are a ton of naked women, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So
Sending
I
them to himself.
So he saved them
I
to your 3DS.
confronted him about it later, and he denied it. And you
Of
know
course he
what?
would.
Respect women.
Even years later, because like I'm pretty sure this was just this year, but even years later, we're still finding some stuff that he's done. Like, I dug up
He's
an
not
old
living at your house anymore, right?
No,
Good.
last I heard, he was in a mental hospital.
Oh, well, that's probably where he belongs.
So,
I know, that's kind of mean, but
yeah.
that's
So-
kind of a weird thing to
Yeah, I
do.
was just
The
like,
last thing
whoa, okay.
the last thing I found was I dug up an old SD card of
Whoa.
Austin's,
Okay.
and
suit.
I put it in my laptop to just to see what was on there, and clear it up so I could use it for whatever. And
Stumbled upon Austin's porn stash.
there was-
Yeah, that happened.
there was a single
Okay.
video on there. I saw the thumbnail, but I can't remember what it was titled. But looking at it, I'm just thinking, this is porn, isn't it? I didn't even bother checking to see if it was, but I'm pretty sure it was.
How come we got on this topic as soon as I started playing as Princess Peach again?
One of us said
subconscious-
something
I don't know.
Jacob said something about porn. That's why we got here.
It was a joke, but okay.
You led me to this. But yeah,
I
that
think the
that
wor-
guy
okay,
don't really.
I think the worst. Hold on. I
like
think the
him
worst thing
anymore.
that I've ever experienced is I bought my Xbox at the pawn shop. When I went to Internet Explorer for the first time on that thing, oh boy, were the search results loaded! Let me tell you what. He really liked Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. Whoever it was. Ooh. So, yeah. Hmm. Especially considering it's someone that I don't know. It was bad.
Yeah, it's always great when you can see a
Good
stranger's
thing that I
taste
was
in
able
porn.
to literally wipe the Xbox clean and because Xboxes are modular units and they don't have to have the original owner to be able to be used.
Well, I think you can hard format pretty much any video game system that saves anything. Like even Nintendo
Although,
lets you
speaking
format
of-
your consoles.
Speaking of old saves, I was playing on my my old PlayStation 2 like a while back, and I found a game on there, and it was from. Do you remember the Transformers movie that was Revenge of the Fallen? With like they were like a pyramid or something. There was a save from the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen video game from the year that it came out, and I cringed so hard. What's the most cringy thing that you game that you found on an old SD card?
I mean, I occasionally look through my hard disk and find old shit that I downloaded from video games that makes me cringe pretty damn
No,
hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just random stuff that makes you cringe really hard, and the way you used to be.
Honestly, I do kind of cringe looking back at some of my old videos.
Dude, I cringe for the one time that I decided to play Fortnite.
Glass Cannon by Ratty524. Once again, missing the alliteration.
Wait, the glass cannon? That's a...
That's like a term meaning somebody who can deal a lot of damage but is really fragile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
I
not.
used to
But
play
that's.
a
But the
character
stage is
in-
a little more literal than that.
I used to play a character in Warframe, and that used to get called a glass cannon, because she was... Basically, she dealt, like, tons of damage, but was, like, a sneaky character. So, you get... oh god, I guess she wasn't really a sneaky character. Anyway, she just dealt tons of damage, but was pretty easy to take down. And one of the worst things about her was that, she would oftentimes get buffed and then immediately nerfed by the devs. So there was no like consistent health for her. So oftentimes you would be kind of left guessing what your health was, which is never good for a glass cannon character. I do believe it was like Valkyrie or something like that. I remember she was like imprisoned or something and like experimented on. And yeah, and she has like
That's her
chains around
lore?
wrists. Yeah, that's her lore.
Figure
It's
is the lore. It's the character with the lore of getting experimented on that's constantly getting buffs and nerfs.
like... Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they really mess with that anymore because they've probably come out with newer frames and stuff. But my good old boy Ash Prime. Dude, Ash Prime used to be the best freaking Warframe in the entire game because Ash basically did this thing where you could look at a room and every creature that you could see, you would instant
Wait, do I have
kill.
flight on me?
Or,
That's
well,
weird,
not
the
instant
sparkles were
kill.
following me.
If they were bosses or they had an inordinate amount of health, you couldn't instant kill them. But basically, all of the smaller enemies, you could just look at them, look at a room full of enemies, and just instant kill them all.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Because
that's also
if
nice.
you had enough focus or whatever the heck it was called, I haven't played the game in a while. If you had enough of this certain trait, you could actually like hit enemies multiple times that you couldn't normally kill in one shot.
Yeah.
So basically, you could hit bosses with like, you know, thousands points of damage.
Industrial Failure by Ceramem.
So, have you ever tried to make a game harder for yourself?
Minecraft.
Like, I mean, like, I found out some things about some games I played. Like,
I mean, we did
just today, I found out that in the original Mario Kart, you can make your player shrink before you enter a course. I also found out, like, months ago, that you can take a Super Nintendo Classic controller and hook it up to a Wii remote and use it, and the Wii will think it's a Wii Classic controller. And it's real interesting to see what kind of results you get using that on Nintendo 64 games. Because there aren't enough buttons on it.
Yeah, so I imagine you only get like half the C buttons.
Like, I can't even... Because, like, I can't even steer in Mario Kart 64.
Oh yeah, because it probably mapped the D-pad as the D-pad.
Yep. If I had Kirby 64, I could definitely play it, though. Because
Or that other 2.5D game that used the D-pad. Like the one other N64 game that used it.
Yeah, wasn't that an anime game or something?
Dude, thank you.
It had anime
The
themes.
N64 used to be really great.
Gosh. You know, there's one Super Nintendo game that I've been playing a lot lately. At least during the weekend. And that's Earthbound.
Oh my god, yes.
Although I can really only take playing it for like a few hours at a time.
A few hours at a time.
That's kind of how Earthbound is. Dude, okay, so I actually started playing Earthbound, and I got this really weird bug, and it might have been related to the anti-piracy thing, because I bought it, and I played it on an emulator, but I actually bought the game. And it was from like I think it was like GOG, or it was from like Steam or something. And I was playing it and I kept getting this really weird bug where it would say that I didn't have a code, and then it would immediately spawn in like thousands of enemies. And then like as soon as I was able to get the code from the place of sale, the thing would like then suddenly say code invalid. And then like I ended up having to like just delete the entire game, reinstall the entire game, and get a new verification code that it was working. Because
Did you ask for a refund?
Days, that's how they made sure that you weren't playing a pirated version of the game. So I had to like get a new verification code. It sucked so much.
Wait, so was this like off-disk copy protection or like actual like
Yes.
DRM?
I'm not sure what it was, but it was
Because
basically.
if it asked you for something while you were playing the game, it was probably off-disk copy protection.
I think it was DRM instead. I think it was digital. It wasn't. It was like you know, your device was detected without a code, basically.
Anyway, so I'm about to enter a wall of text, so
Was
I'm gonna need to speak for a couple minutes. Let me get
Okay,
water.
we should let him speak, and then we can continue talking about Earthbound.
Whoa! Oh, welcome! Oh, big happy welcome! Today is the day you die! They thought their rules would prevent me from being here. Oh, but they were wrong. I found a way in, and nothing will stop me from destroying you and the fifth wall. It is in this factory that produces absolutely nothing but pipes and poison that shall be your grave. With my bombinator, throw long name Troninator, you'll be reduced to nothing but ashes as I dance and spread them around. This boss has it all. Annoying wall, the weapon you use can kill you. Henchmen, no spawning shrooms, disappearing floor. Whoa, you'll never win. I even have 3 clones. 3 times you'll have to fight me over and over like a bad action movie. The best part is, when I destroy your worthless carcass, I'll have free reign to send my hordes of toads to take control of the gallery, then the event, then the entire website. I'll not stop until everyone has suffered horribly. I'll even blab bad memes like Arrow to the Knee and my buddy Leroy Jenkins. Oh, but don't forget, being the troll that I am, I've deployed a failsafe. All levels will feature nothing but me! I'll even suggest bad events such as Super Doctor Totally World. I'll make it happen if it's the last thing I'll do. Lastly, once you get a horrible and painfully frustrating death, you'll have to listen to my rant again and again like a bad joke no one can get over. I'll be the death of you! And now to activate my bomb, man, I don't care what it's called in Iteratron. Perish! Oh dear, a flaw in my plan!
Jesus.
That's my favorite boss in the whole game.
I don't remember where it was at. I think it was a digital download of some sort that I paid actual money for.
Yeah,
I just don't remember where. Because the only ones I'm seeing right now are... They might have had trouble with it and shut it down, to be
yeah.
honest.
What
but
system was this on?
It was on PC, so...
Oh, if it was... Again, I'm thinking it's off-disk copy protection, because a lot of old games employed that.
Yeah, I've been playing it on my Super Nintendo Classic.
I can't...
But
I
I'm
can't
not
remember
very...
where I got it from, though, and that's...
If I'm honest, though, I'm not very far. Like... What's the name of that second town in there?
I don't know. I gave up, eventually.
Gosh. Well, basically made it to the second town, and I still have to do the second sanctuary.
Retro games or some shit.
Shut up, Kelly, I don't want to talk to you.
But, yeah. Also, you can name the characters whatever you the main characters whatever you want at the start of the game, and when a game lets you do that, I can't really help myself, so I name them whatever.
Disrespect by Halle Babacat.
And the game asks you what your favorite was it either your favorite thing or your favorite food.
Nope.
And
No,
I type. And like I was very tempted to type something to write something like porn or hentai, but I just said feces.
Now I remember how I got it. It was for the Wii U. It wasn't for PC. It was for the Wii U.
You had a Wii U?
Yep.
I had a Wii U.
I had a Wii U.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah, I used to have Wii U.
I'm no longer the only one among us who has played the Wii U.
It was fucking terrible. I played like a couple Wii U games, and like I played the original Wii games on the Wii U, and then I gave up.
Yeah, there's not really much of a point in getting a Wii U now, since most of the good games on there.
Except for Super Mario
Switch.
3D World, I'm really hoping that that's like one of the last games they port.
I'm sure some games will stay exclusive though, like Nintendo Land.
Yeah, but it'd be silly of them to not port 3D World, right?
I got it for like
That was one of the that was one of the
$10.
system sellers, quote unquote.
I mean, I'd be interested in seeing that one.
Why did I clip in front of that thing and die? Although, to drag the conversation to something Mario related, I really hope they had more, like at least a couple more playable characters if they do port 3D World.
Yeah.
Which I hope they do. I hope it's not just the theme being ported to Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah, when you asked me this question last time, isn't this where Discord cut me off?
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, you asked me what characters I could imagine being brought over in the port, and I'm still not really sure.
Like, I think the minimum effort decision would be Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, and Toadette.
Okay,
Waluigi's unlikely, but I can imagine Toadette and
So-
Wario.
They would be able to do it, right? Like, he's
Does
got super
Yoshi-
lanky
does Yoshi
limbs. He
appear
could.
in-
He doesn't.
Yoshi appear in-
Yoshi would be like
Okay.
the 5th one, so that would round it out to
Yeah.
10 characters, double the original.
Okay, then they could add Yoshi.
So like the thought I had is that
What if they
Wario's
add
default
Dr.
speed would be
Mario?
slowed, but his they would have no fucking reason to do
So,
that.
Gameactive, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I really want to know this. What was the worst game you played on the Wii U before you like sold it and decided to get a better fucking system?
I didn't sell my Wii U.
He still has it.
Oh.
Even when I got my Switch, I didn't sell it because I wasn't gonna buy Mario Kart 8 again.
Fuck that, I sold it, man. I sold it and I bought an Xbox One with it.
Well, I don't
Like,
blame
the
you. If you
thing is,
don't play the
I
Mario
probably would
games,
get
it
a
doesn't
Wii
matter
U
to
these
you.
days, like a replacement Wii, since my Wii doesn't really
I
very
played
well.
Zombie U. That was the worst game I played.
Yeah, that wasn't a
Most
very
people,
good
most
one.
people will say that's terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. The controls were freaking terrible because you have that touch, right?
Yeah, you have the
Yeah.
gamepad.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the gamepad itself, the buttons to make specific events happen aren't quite right. So like you're running from a zombie and then you press the button, but your guy trips over the thing anyway and then dies. And it's just like
So was there input lag or was it just control mapping issues?
it was like control mapping issue. It was GUI issues. It was lag issues. It was just a terrible fucking game altogether. Like the story didn't make
Yeah.
any sense. The
Yeah,
characters were
I didn't play
unoriginal.
that game at all.
It was bad.
I don't think I've played a game on the Wii U that I consider bad because I only buy good games.
Yeah. So the thing is, when the Wii, when
Which
the
is
Wii
why I
was-
got Sonic Heroes and Super Mario Sunshine as loans that I
So
never gave back.
I'm gonna be real with you. I ended up buying the biggest bust game that I think I've seen in a very long time, which is Fallout 76.
Actually,
Yeah.
correction, I actually do have a bad Wii U game, but I've never played it.
What is it?
Sonic Boom
Sonic
Rise a
Boom?
Lyric.
How did I know?
That was technically a gift to my sister because apparently my sister has a terrible friend where they do gag gifts. That's all they seem to do. So on her birthday, she got basically me a copy of Sonic Boom Rise a Lyric because she never played any games on the Wii U. Not after I kicked her ass at Mount
I
Wario.
really hate that some of the newer, like just all the newer Sonic games. Was ass.
Sonic
Like, there was-
Mania was good.
Sonic
Well, there was
Mania
a
is the
couple-
best Sonic spin in quite a while.
There was what was the name of that game?
Sonic Forces was pretty bad, from what I've heard.
No, there was like
It was
the one-
mediocre.
Basically anything from like the GameCube onward until like kind of recently have just
Yeah.
been really bad.
So yeah, I wanted to say something about the Wii U. Like, back when it was
Mother Brain?
Yes.
Yes.
For
Back
some
when the
reason,
Wii
she's
U
riding a
was,
cannon.
back when the Wii U was Nintendo's console, it used to bug me how people didn't like it, but nowadays I just look back at it and make fun of it along with everyone else because it's.
He called it a toilet.
I mean,
That
it's
criticism
obvious
is-
why it's obvious why it did poorly. Like, seriously, how could I not make fun of it?
Yeah, but the toilet comment is reserved for the Atari Jaguar CD, you realize?
That is true.
Oh, come on, kick it upwards, Toad.
No, I would have to say the Sega Dreamcast might also.
Was that a Nintendo console? I thought we were talking about Nintendo consoles here.
Atari Jaguar is not a Nintendo console.
You said
Well, I was talking
Jaguar.
about the consoles that compared to a toilet.
Yeah, that is true.
That's what I was saying.
I don't think
I've
I've ever
seen a
heard somebody say
Dreamcast,
that
but I don't
compare the
think it looks like
Dreamcast
a
to a toilet.
If I remember correctly. Oh no, that was not the Dreamcast. There was a different.
The Sega CD?
The Virtual Boy. That's what it was.
Oh gosh.
If yeah, the Virtual Boy was what I was thinking. I was thinking like Dream because it might be like part of the marketing. No, it was called the Virtual Boy and it was fucking terrible.
I've known some people that actually like it, but I've heard most of the games on bad. Like the only game that people say, the only Virtual Boy game that people usually say is good is the Wario Land one. I think there might be some that like Mario Clash one, but
Mario Clash
For
was
the most
basically
part.
3D Mario
Not
Brothers,
only that, but it was
so not really that
extremely
great.
popular because it kind of sucked to play.
but how come they never released Virtual Boy games on the 3DS Virtual Console? That seems like a total missed opportunity to me.
I feel like they should probably just remake the games in color. More specifically, just the one Wario Land game.
But here's the thing, like they actually acknowledged the Virtual Boy in Tomodachi Life and Wario
All
Land.
hail the Virtual Boy!
But they
Love that
didn't
gif.
do Virtual Boy Virtual Console, and that kind of bothers me.
Imagine that,
Like,
Virtual Boy Virtual Console.
3DS, no glasses 3D system, like the Virtual Boy.